We are on to day 11 of the R Advent calendar. Yesterday we talked about installing packages, and today we're going to talk about how to update packages. All right, and check on the R version. This is a very basic fundamental lesson today. So if we want to check the R version, we're just going to use the r.version function. Day 11. We run that and you get a whole bunch of output, tells you what system you're on. It says we're on the major version 3, minor version 6.1 from July 5th, 2019. And they all have a kind of a funny nickname. I actually don't know where the names of the R releases come from. If anybody who's watching happens to know, pop it down in the comments. I'm kind of curious. Alright, so yeah, that's the version of R. It says in the file that it doesn't tell you about the version of RStudio. You can find that by going to Help About RStudio. And here we can see that this particular version is 1.2.5019. It also has a nickname, Elderflower. Again, I don't know where those come from. In RStudio, you can check for updates just by clicking in this Help menu. For R, you generally need to kind of check online. Okay, so we can find out if we have any old packages by running this command. And it says I have a lot of old packages, or a decent number at least. I don't have a lot of packages installed yet because this is a fairly fresh installation of R, but regardless, there are a few that are out of date. And so we can update those using this update packages code. So let's run that and see what happens. Question update. We'll just hit yeah. Oh, I see it's doing it for each. Okay, and so now I think I understand. Okay, I've seen this quite often. So it says it can't install to C program files library. I think this has to do with user permissions and other things under Windows. Whenever I see this, I just always hit yes, use a personal library. I think that puts it in your documents folder or something like that, where you can write from easily. And then it's going to download some files. It looks like this might take a minute. I imagine that the point of this flag here, ask equals false, is so you don't get all those pop-up windows that are saying upgrade, 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 right, over and over again. So let's look at the help file for update packages. We can see that this includes the help for updating packages, checking old packages, and also this new packages command. And you can see that each of these now has quite a few arguments. So if you recall when we looked at square root, there was only one argument, right? The argument was x. In other words, whatever you wanted to take the square root of. But now these functions have quite a few arguments, most of which you don't have to define. I mean, you can see that we ran them without giving it any arguments at all. Now, as the instructions for today indicate, you can improve the behavior a little bit by using this ask argument for updating packages. So if we look through the usage for the update packages command, you can see that right down here, it says ask equals true. So that means by default, it's going to ask you if you really want to update it. And I think that's where that pop-up is coming from. And so if you just call update packages with ask equals false, it won't ask you all the time. In this case, it's not going to do anything because I've already updated it. So it's done. Okay, so that's how you check your R version, how you find out if you have any old packages, and how you update them. I would probably encourage you just try this ask equals false just to avoid a ton of pop-ups. I mean, you can have quite a few out-of-date packages if you've been running R for a while. And having to click OK a bunch of times would just be kind of irritating. All right, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, as always, ask in the comments. Otherwise, we'll talk to you tomorrow.